Entrepreneurs aren't born, they are made through failures, breakthroughs, and relentless hustle. Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, 100 plus podcast stations. This is where visionaries share their unfiltered journeys, strategies, and game-changing insights. Your success story starts here. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Watch, learn, and elevate. So hello and welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni. Season 2. And when I talk to you about Season 2, we talk about not just business, not just mindset, but also health set. Guys, whenever we do these episodes, we want to make sure we deliver the maximum value to you in the limited hour time that we have on air, right? And we also want to make sure that whoever comes and join this podcast, they get to share their greatest talent, their greatest expertise, their greatest skill that they can offer to the world. And I want to make sure today, when you make notes, you take things carefully because our health, our body is everything to us. You can get everything back. You can make some money back. You can learn a new skill, but you cannot get your health back if it's not good. So today is a day of hope where you can finally learn how to get better with your health, understand the real wellness about it, and understand the mistakes you might be making and how you can avoid them and what you can do just from today, starting from today only, for your health that will give you back the lifestyle that you deserve. So, in regards to saying that, I would like to introduce my guest today to you, Marisa McKenzie, who's a health and wellness expert. She's been doing this for almost over 2 decades, right, Marisa? And I would love for her to share a little bit more about herself and how she has helped lots and lots of individuals take their health and wellness again seriously and learn about the body, because the moment you learn about your body, you learn a lot more about how you can take your overall life and lifestyle to the next level. So yeah, Marisa, please share a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, Rohit. Thank you so much for having me here today. I have been a health and wellness coach for 30 years, actually. I have done fitness training, nutrition training, and health and holistic wellness. So I work with basically busy professionals, CEOs, on making their health a priority and realizing really that health is wealth. And without health, we can't have the wealth, our financial wealth, that is. So I really help high value people that are focusing so much on their business really reprioritize their health and really I really try and make an impact in their lives and their families' lives on how important health is to us and in building a business as well, and without it, we can't do that. So it is so important to all aspects of our life.
100%. And I agree with the part that without health, we can't do anything, right? So that sets the tone for the show today, right? So Marisa, diving a little bit in there about you, what inspired you to become a health coach and why you're so passionate about helping high achieving professionals? Because I get the idea, most high achieving professionals, they must be going through stuff that they don't talk about. So what patterns you see as well when you started? Yeah.
There was a few different things that got me into the fitness field, but the health, helping busy professionals happened more in 2012. I lost my dad, who was 72 at the time, and my brother, who was 45 at the time, to 2 different types of cancers. And it was within a 6-week period. And they were both diagnosed about 9 months before. And I was one of the primary caregivers for both of them. And just watching how their life went basically downhill in that 9-month period. And then it ended 6 weeks apart and we had a double funeral for them. So you can imagine how much of an impact. I only had one sibling and that was my brother. And losing him and my dad at one time would obviously impact me greatly. And neither of them had, even though I was in the health and fitness field and I had tried to get them into it. My dad, kind of the last 5 years of his life, really focused on it because he had had a heart attack earlier. But my brother, he kind of thought, you know what, I'm 45, I'll be fine. And he wasn't. He had probably gained about 30 pounds in the last 5 years of his life. And he was focusing just more on work and not on his fitness. And I remember even writing him a letter a couple of years before he passed away saying, I'm worried about you. You need to focus on your health. You were not doing it. And he had at some point in his life, but it had just kind of, he had focused more on his business. So after that happened, I thought I have to make more of an impact on people's lives than just the fitness part that I'd been doing. And so I went back to school. I'd already had a university degree, but I went back to school and studied on the full holistic health and wellness. And then I wanted to just make a ripple effect in the business world, and realizing that both of those cancers that they had were lifestyle driven. They weren't just genetics. So I believe that they could have been prevented. And I just want to really help others do that. And so it comes from a deep place within me that I want to help others. And 45 is too young, obviously. And so many people at that stage in their life are focused so much on their career and they never think anything is going to happen. So I'm just here to kind of remind people that you have to take care of your health at all times in your life, because it can happen at any time and we're just not ready for it. And then it's just too late. He decided at that point when he was diagnosed, okay, I'm going to start working on my health, but it was already stage 4. So it couldn't have been done at that point. So that was what got me into it. And that was 2013, even though I'd been doing it for many years before that, but I just went that much further at that point. And now it's just something that I want to keep working on with all the people I come across and help them be their best version of themselves and feel their absolute best. So I'm 53 now, and I work every day at my health, and just little habits like walking every day. If you actually walk 10 to 15 minutes after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it drops your blood sugar level. And that is such a big thing as a predetermining factor for diabetes. If we're always having high blood sugar levels, it gets us to go towards that diabetes. And so that's a really good habit you can just put into play to help even out or balance your blood sugars after meals. That, or even standing in your kitchen doing 20 air squats takes like 2 minutes. And that's another quick way of balancing blood sugars. But there are so many habits that I give my clients on a day-to-day basis that helps them, just little ones like the walking, or like 5 minutes of breathing, getting up every day and getting outside just to see daylight first thing in the morning. That sets your circadian rhythm, which is our day-night schedule, because sleep is so important. And that allows our body to get the waking up hormone to get us going for the day. So there's lots of little things like that you can put into your day that would really help your day-to-day health.
I agree. It's always the small things, right? And then we avoid it, and then they become bigger, just like with your brother. And I don't like to say it, but it's just because you're too much involved into something that you forget about the most important thing, which is your own body. And that happens. And nothing to take away from someone, but if that happens, you absolutely can't do something about it at very late stage. So that's why it's much better that you are now reminded of it, and then you actually put some effort immediately as of today. And that's why we're doing this show. Moving forward, you mentioned doing all the right things, Marisa, but still not feeling like yourself. What do you mean by that? Can you explain a bit on that?
Oh, okay. Switching gears a little bit then. Yeah, I think that a lot of people are trying to exercise as hard as they can and eat sometimes as little as they can. Especially, I think more women tend to do this than men. because they want to look a certain way. And they feel like if they're exercising hard, and what I mean by that is maybe going to like a HIIT, high intensity interval training class, something where they're working so hard, their heart rate is so high, going from machine to machine really quickly, sweating so much by the end of it. So they're exhausted, their cortisol levels are high, and then eating as little as possible so they can be as small as possible. And then your body is like, wait, this is not happening. We're not feeling good here. So, and this usually happens later in our 40s, 50s, 60s. In our 20s and 30s, our body can kind of still deal with that. But at this point, I would say, okay, stop and refocus, because we don't want it so our cortisol levels are off the charts. And when you're moving at that kind of pace and you're probably quite busy with your career. So you're already stressed throughout the day and probably not managing your stress very well. That's what I mean by you think you're doing all the right things. I'm exercising hard. I'm not eating very much. Why am I not a size 6 or whatever it may be, weighing what I want to weigh? So in those decades of your life, I would say you need to really switch gears and switch to a little bit lower intensity, like walking every day, but also strength training, but not in a circuit style way. More heavier strength training, but more rest breaks. So you're doing a set of, say, 10 repetitions, but then you have a 2-minute break after. So you're able to really push your muscle to a point where it's actually building muscle and building bone density, because in our 40s and 50s, building bone density is huge. Recovering then. And so, yes, by the end of your 45-minute or an hour workout, you're feeling like, yeah, you've had a workout. It's your muscles are fatigued, though. It's not your whole body feeling like, I am so exhausted, I need a nap kind of feeling. So I think just different things need to be looked at in the decades of 40s, 50s, and 60s, as opposed to what we were doing in our 20s and 30s. So that's what I meant by that, doing all the right things.
Wait. Right now, Marisa, we got to run into a quick break. But when we come back, Marisa will share with everyone and reveal the real reason diets and intense workouts often fail. And she'll go a little bit more deep in it and what to do, what you have to do if these diets and they fail, right? What's the natural way? So when we come back, you're in for a treat. You will learn a lot more about all the health and wellness secrets that Marisa is going to share with us. I'll see you right out of this break.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show, season 2. This is your host Rohit Soni, and today I'm with my amazing guest, Marisa McKenzie. Let me have her on the stage again. Here we go. Awesome. So Marisa, before going into the break, we were talking about doing all the right things. Can you talk a little bit more about your own journey at 53 and how that shapes your coaching approach? Because we have seen a lot of ups and downs in your own journey, not just as a businesswoman, but also in your own health and wellness at 53. So could you expand on that a bit?
Yes. I basically, when I was 18, after I graduated high school, I moved to New York for a year and I was a nanny there. And I was going to go into education. I wanted to be a teacher at that point. And I spent a year as a nanny, but during that year, I gained 30 pounds, but I had no idea I gained it until when I came back home. I tried to fit into the clothes that I left in and they weren't fitting. And I was devastated. I was, at 19 at this point now, I was going to start university and I'm 30 pounds heavier. And I felt like my confidence just dropped and I just didn't even feel like myself anymore. So I went to a local gym and I started taking some fitness classes and I got a strength training program, which was a big thing for a woman at that point, because this would have been 1989, 1990.
90, yeah.
Yeah, 89, 90. And women were not in the weight room areas of the gym at that point that much, hardly at all. And so I ended up joining a women's gym that somebody set me up in a strength training program. And within like 6 weeks, I noticed such a difference and I felt so good. And all of a sudden the weight started coming off, my body shape changed. And I'm like, I've got to help other people do this. This is incredible. And I have to say, after spending a year as a nanny, I realized I should not be working with children if I ever want to have my own children. So I decided not to go into education and decided to go to university to study human movement. So that's what I did. And I lost the weight and I felt back to myself, got my confidence back. And that was probably the best experience I could have gone through at that point, because I really knew what it felt like to gain weight and then to lose it and how it can affect your confidence like so much. People looked at me differently. I looked at myself differently and I didn't feel myself. So after that, I went into corporate fitness, actually. That was becoming a big thing I live in Vancouver, Canada, on the west coast of Canada. And at the time, a lot of big companies were putting in gyms in their head office. So I actually worked in the head office of McDonald's. And they put a corporate gym in 1990. It was the first one I knew of in Vancouver. And I taught fitness classes there. And I put their executives through fitness testing and, got them healthier, even though that they were working at McDonald's, the executives anyway. So it was good that they were putting in their money into health at that point, because that was 30 years ago. And so that was kind of my first delve into it myself. And then I was helping different people. And for about 2 years through corporate fitness, then I decided to open my own gym. So I had my own personal training gym. It was one of the first ones in Vancouver. It was kind of a boutique style gym, a smaller one. And it was basically busy professionals and executives coming to this gym. And I got to work with a lot of people. And 10 years later, I ended up being pregnant. So I worked through my pregnancies, and then I had other clients that were pregnant. So I worked with them on being fit through pregnancy. So I kind of, as I've progressed in my age, so have a lot of my clients. So I've worked through different stages of life. Now, being a 53-year-old woman and perimenopause and menopause, I work with a lot of women in that. Women and men, though, actually. I do work with both. But how things change throughout our lives and what I can do to help them through fitness, nutrition, stress management techniques, sleep. And I feel amazing now. And I get so many women, especially coming to me saying, oh, I'm never going to be the size I was before I got pregnant. And these are women my age, like 50, 53. And I'm like, yes, you can be the same size. You can. Once you say that in your mind that, I can't feel as good as I did in my 20s or 30s, you're never going to be able to. You have to, just like I know, Rohit, that you talk a lot about mindset. It's totally like that with your health. You have to believe that you can do whatever your goal is, whether it's health or business or whatever, right? So I just give my clients an action plan to help them through this stage. But we work a lot on mindset too. And that's probably the first thing we work on, because once they make that switch in their brain, and we work on it throughout programming, then I can put nutrition steps in place and fitness steps in place and sleep and stress management and all the other stuff. So, but I really do think it starts with your mind on making that switch. Yes, this is possible. And yes, I'm going to make this switch in my health.
I love that part. It all starts here, right? The moment it gets here and the moment people actually do it and they believe in it, possibilities are endless. And that's where I blow. When you set a goal and you achieve it, there it is. No one's going to hold you back but you. And I agree with that part. So moving forward, right? Can you share with us, Marisa, a real life success story from one of your clients who turned things around from like what I mean is adversity to,
Yeah, I
to finally work on there.
So I worked with a woman just actually during COVID and after. She was late 50s at the time, and her husband was 20 years older than her, and he was dealing with dementia. So during COVID, she couldn't have dealing with dementia. She did have help for him before COVID, but once COVID came in, she couldn't have anybody else in her home. So she was 24/7 with him. And that was very emotional, obviously, but she couldn't get out to the gym to work out. She couldn't get a break at all. So she wasn't even sleeping well because he was up throughout. It was kind of like having a toddler or a baby at home because he was waking up at all hours of the night, not knowing where he was. It was very just stressful, no sleep, not being able to get to the gym 24/7 with one person who doesn't really understand what's going on. And so during that time, she gained about 35 pounds, I think it was. And when she was able to have people back in her home again, she called me and she saw one of my posts and she's like, I need help. I am just going, I'm just going crazy. I feel the worst I've ever felt. I'm stressed out completely. I'm an emotional wreck because she's dealing with what's her husband is, all of these aspects of his life too, coming, going downhill now at this point. So we did a lot of coaching over the phone, which I do anyway, or by Zoom. And I gave her a fitness program. She had a few weights at home. So she did her fitness program basically when he was napping during the day for half an hour here, half an hour there, wherever she could fit it in. I gave her some meditation, an app to listen to that she could, when he woke up in the middle of the night and tried to get him back to sleep, she would actually play the meditation app for her and him. And it actually settled him down a lot so he could get back to sleep, but then she could get back to sleep. And when you are trying to be your best version, sleep is huge. If you are lacking sleep, first of all, you'll have no patience. You'll be tired throughout the day, but your cravings for high carbohydrate, usually highly processed foods, the next day will be huge. So that's what she was finding. What had happened before she called me, she was always craving basically junk food. And that wasn't what she was doing before. So that's when she gained all the weight. So anyway, so she did the meditation apps. We did fitness programming whenever she could fit it in her day, half an hour here, half an hour there. And then I got her to basically get rid of everything in her home that was not healthy, except I said twice a week, I want you to have her big vice, I guess, was desserts. She loved desserts. So I said, okay, twice a week, let's put that in your program. You're going to have your favorite desserts. And from what I remember, I think it was sticky toffee pudding was one of them. And cheesecake was the other. So we allowed it for like a Friday night and a Tuesday night or something like that, I think. And knowing that she was going to have it those nights, she was fine. She was like, okay, I don't need to have the chips and the chocolate in between if I know I'm going to have it those nights. So we got that in. We increased her protein a lot because she had really dropped her protein down, and her regular weight was about 135 pounds. So, and that was her realistic feel great weight. So that was the goal of her protein. I needed her to get about 135 grams of protein a day. At that much protein, I knew she would not be craving things. She would feel satiated. She would feel full. And it would help her body composition change from the fat that she had gained to more muscle. The more muscle your body has, the more calories you're burning 24 hours a day. So it's like just metabolism boost when you have more muscle on your body. So she was eating her 135 grams of protein every day. She was doing her fitness whenever she could fit it in, her meditation apps, and then she was finally sleeping better. So within, I think it took her about 5 months, if I remember correctly, where she lost the weight. And then she felt amazing. But what was even better is her patience level for her husband was just so much better because they kind of bonded at night during that meditation app that they had. They got that closeness again, which was really tough when you're going through dementia, it's hard to get that connection with your partner. So she felt better herself. She had more patience and her body had changed. So it was really amazing. Unfortunately, her husband did end up passing away about 4 or 5 months after that. But even that, with all of the things that we had done to get her feeling better, she's told me many times, I still talk to her, that was life-changing for her because it actually helped her go through the death of her husband, having herself feel better. And she just felt stronger, more confident. And now 5 years later, she's actually dating somebody new and very happy. And so it's all good. And she's kept the weight off. So that's probably my favorite story because it allowed her to feel back to herself and have that connection with her husband before that all happens.
I would also say that during these small moments when adversity hits, when things don't go the way you want them to go, and then you fight back like she did, it just inspires you. It just inspires everyone around you that, well, if that woman can do it, if that man can do it, why can't I? Why can't you, Marisa? Why can't Rohit do it? So,
and Rohit, I want to add something to that because after COVID, she ended up starting back to the gym, which she hadn't been to in probably 2 years. And I worked out with her at the gym quite a few times. When she came into the gym, her energy, and you could feel she was on a different frequency. She had like positive energy. People said to her, "You are looking amazing." And you could just tell she was exuding this positive energy. It was really, really great. So it really did affect her whole life. It was awesome.
well, a human mind, once it sets the goal, no one can beat it. That's for sure. Right. And in saying that, no one can beat it. We got to run into another quick break right now, Marisa. But when we come back, we'll dive a little bit more deeper into how to create a personalized blueprint for your health and how you can work with Marisa this month or next month, depending on the spots she has left. Okay. So I'll see you after this break.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show, season 2. This is your host Rohit, and I'm with Marisa McKenzie. I've been sharing, just dropping some, I'll say, value bombs in front of us for the last 20-25 minutes. And Marisa, we were talking about this before the break about doing things right. But to do things right, you need a roadmap, a blueprint, a structure, a strategy, right? So walk us through your own personalized blueprint process. What does it look like and how people can work with you?
When I meet a potential client, I always ask them, obviously, what their goals are. Why is this the time for them to be meeting with me, for one thing? And what do they want to achieve? And how much of a priority is it to achieve this at this time? because I want to make sure that somebody really wants this and is in it. Because if you're not in it, it's not going to change. Just like you and I talked about, it's a mindset, and you have to make sure that you are ready to make these changes. So what I do is I ask them to give me a week's worth of data. So once they decide, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is my focus right now. And don't forget, the majority of my clients are busy professionals. So they've got lots of other things going on in their life, and I take that into account. But the average person that I see, I'd say 80% of people want to lose weight and increase the energy. I do work with people that have other goals, but this is the main bulk of the people. And so I ask them to journal for a week, their sleep, meaning what is their sleep schedule like? Do they wake up in the middle of the night? Do they go to bed at 2 a.m. or 10 p.m., that kind of thing? What time they wake up? For a week, I need to see that. What is their activity level, if anything, for a week? What does their nutrition look like for a week? So I actually do get them to weigh their food for a week. And I know that sounds like a lot. And if they're away traveling for business, we work around it. But whatever they can do, just so they get an idea actually too, what a serving looks like. Because a lot of people have no idea what a serving is. Let's say, for instance, peanut butter. It could be in one person's mind a tablespoon and another person's 3 tablespoons, but that can be a 600 calorie difference. So I really like to have people weigh things for a week just to kind of see where we're at. If we can work around, as I said, if they're eating out, things like that, but for the most part. So their sleep, their movement, their food, as well as anything they may do for self-growth and stress management techniques. So whether they're journaling, whether they're meditating, whether they're doing breathing exercises, whatever it may be, doesn't matter. So I get them to put all of that down, and then I make a plan based on what is realistic for them, what their schedule looks like, because as I just said, most of the people I work with are very busy. So I get them to tell me beforehand, what kind of time can you put in this? What is realistic for you? I don't want to create a plan of this many hours when the person only has a couple hours or whatever it may be. And I also ask them, when do you want to achieve this goal by? Because if you only have a half an hour a week to put into this, but you want to achieve this in a month, it's probably not going to happen. So we work with what the goal is, when they want to achieve it, how much time they have, and how much time is realistic that they put into it. And then we go from there. And I make a health plan that I email them. It's all written down, what they're going to do. And then each week we have a phone call, and they have 24/7 tech support from me. So if they're out at a restaurant and they're like, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to eat or whatever, I will be there for them, support them. Like, how about this? How about that? So whatever it may be. Sometimes I'm talking them off a cliff because they're upset. Sometimes they're wanting to share a story with me because, hey, I had a win today, which I always love to see with my clients. Whatever it may be. So I create that blueprint, and then week to week, we tweak it depending on how their week went. If they're ready to move on to the next step, I don't want to overwhelm them with the first week of everything. So I really try and meet my clients where they are at. That's how it's individual. It's not the same blueprint for everybody because everybody has a different starting point. And over the years, I've realized everybody is so different. Everybody's personalities, their family life, their business life, everything. So what they have to put into this part of their journey is going to be different. So I want to work with everybody in that individual way. So week to week, our phone calls are very different depending on how their week went, what they've got coming in the next week. So I have a coaching call with them once a week, and sometimes it ends up being a little bit more if they need more support, but that's kind of how it works. And it's usually my program is usually 3 months, but sometimes if they haven't reached their goal by that, then we might do another 3 months. Or if they have and they need maintenance after that, then I can be maintenance support. So it kind of depends on where everybody's different, basically. But that's kind of the basis for it.
And Marisa, you talk about this one thing as well. Like you say, no crash diets, no extreme workouts. So according to your experience, what immediately works for someone? Like, is that mindset, health set? What is it?
Oh, well, I don't believe in crash diets or quick fixes. And I think that deserves some explanation, because I really want to see somebody, if I'm going to put them on a program, I want to see that they could picture doing this a year from now. What I'm trying to give them is tools that they can always come back to. And I'm going to use, again, fat loss as an example, just because everybody can kind of relate to that one. That if after working with me, they've come to their goal, but say 2 years down the road, they go on a vacation, they gain 7 pounds, let's say that. I want them to have the tools themselves at that point when they get back to get themselves back to doing what they did with me, and they can lose the weight again. I don't want this to be something where they're always coming back to me because they don't know how to do it themselves. I want to teach people and inspire people and help them be accountable when they're with me. But then when they're finished and when they reach their goal, I want them to be able to come back to this themselves if they happen to gain weight again. Hopefully they won't, but life happens, right? Things happen. So with the crash diets and quick fixes, yes, you'll lose the weight really fast, but it's not sustainable. And that is so important for me. I need it to be sustainable for myself. Like when I lost that 30 pounds at 18, I have never gained it back. I got heavier during my pregnancies, and that was the only time. So I think that's really important. If you see a diet that you're like, okay, I can do this for a month, but after that, I'm going back to the way I was, you're just going to gain the weight back. And that is not teaching you anything. So I want to teach people how to eat, but how to eat healthy, that they're able to still have, just like my client Linda I was telling you about earlier, she still had her 2 desserts a week. And I think that is sustainable. You know what? We all look forward to that. Or maybe it's those 2 glasses of wine on date night on a Friday or Saturday night. Whatever it may be, I want them to be able to think like, okay, yes, I can live with this because it is sustainable. It's not cutting out all of my favorite foods or all of my favorite drinks, and I can't live without pizza, right? Whatever it may be.
One of the other things that I've seen, Marisa, is that quick fixes never helps. It just gives you a quick dose of, oh, I did something today, and then nothing else happens because you don't change from within. You're just changing for the sake of, I'll say, because you have seen something on the internet. You're just changing for it, and it's not long term. And I've seen lots and lots of guys, gals trap into this, that they think that eating no sugar suddenly, or eating a little bit less, would change their lifestyle. No, it won't. You gotta run, you gotta walk. You actually need to do some physical work too. That's what I believe in, because I've been a sports athlete for almost 10 years now. So I get that part. And then most people I see, they work out, they don't even warm up, and I've seen that. They go to play tennis, they go to play cricket, they don't warm up, and then their body feels stiff, and then that results in a lot of other things, but we don't want to go into that part. But I see that without preparation and without the right guidance, things don't work out. If you have someone like you who can guide them, who can support them, it's much better that way. And that's why I'm going to drop the link below on how you can connect with Marisa here, and then you can take it from there. Right now, Marisa, we have to run into another quick break. But when we come back, we'll discuss about Marisa's top 3 daily habits to feel amazing at any age, be it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, right? So I'll see you right after this short break.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently, so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing, that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So, hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host, Rohit Soni. So, I'll just welcome back Marisa McKenzie on our stage again. And Marisa, what are your top 3 daily habits for energy, focus, and feeling great?
The first one would be sleep, because without sleep, you, as I discussed earlier, first of all, your patience level is like down here and your cravings are up here. So both of those things do not work for health, for a fat loss, or even for maintaining a weight loss. So I think that that's really important to get consistent 7 to 9 hours sleep. Usually works for the majority of people. That's the first thing. The second thing is eating enough protein for your realistic and ideal weight. So for instance, I discussed this a bit earlier. If your realistic weight as a man, let's say, is 180 pounds, then you should actually be having 180 grams of protein a day. And that is very difficult to get in. But if you don't, you tend to go overboard on carbohydrates, and then you end up being over fat and under muscled. And muscle is the organ of longevity. So we want to get the muscle up and the fat down. And you can see that's happened all over North America. We're the other way around. So we want to get that balance. So that would be the second thing. The third thing, I think walking is so underrated. And for one thing, we're sitting at desks all day long. And I really do promote standing at your desk as much as possible during the day, but or going back and forth between sitting and standing. But because of our sitting culture, walking. I tell people to walk whenever. So whether you're listening to a podcast when you're walking, whether you're talking on the phone with connecting with somebody, whether you're walking with your partner, a friend, I walk every day for at least an hour and 15 minutes, usually an hour and a half. Sometimes I split it up into 2 walks, but I'm always listening to something, either a podcast, an audible book. I'm learning. I learn so much during my hours walking. Or I'll connect with a friend. So at least 3 times a week, I'll meet a friend for a walk, or my husband, or whoever it may be. And it's a great connection time. So I think that, and I'm not saying everybody needs to walk for an hour and a half. That's what I do, but just do what you can fit into your schedule. I think those are the best things for helping us not be stiff in the morning. As we get older, people tend to be stiff as soon as they get out of bed. This can really help that. And it can help with bone density. It can just do so many things. Burning calories, making us feel more alert, connected with nature. There's so many positives about walking. So those would be my top 3 things.
Well, that's great. And I kind of agree with the walking thing, although I agree with everything, but I really like the walking part because it's just the moment you move and the moment you start moving in nature, you start getting ideas as well for your life and business, and it just reduces stress, right?
Oh my, I'm so happy you mentioned that. I wasn't sure if that was just me. When I am moving, I always get epiphanies about my life. My intuition just kicks in during that, whether it's about my business, relationships, whatever. It's very creative time. Yeah. So if you're having problems in business or you're trying to figure out something, that is a great way to do it. Instead of just sitting at your desk, get out, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, moving your body in some way. Yes.
Agree. And what's your take, Marisa, on the role of community and accountability in health?
I love that. Even though I do a lot of individual coaching, I do some group coaching with smaller groups, but I think it is so great if you are connected with community that will lift you up and your support for other people as well. You have to make sure it's the right community, obviously, but we are influenced by the people around us. So if you get a group together that is a healthy group, you're going to do amazing. But if you get a group together that is always just at the bar getting drinks after work, you're going to see the difference of your productivity, how you feel, everything, whether it's hangovers the next morning. It's not, well, you can do the math. You can see how that would affect you. But I think community is amazing. Connection, laughing, like all of these things are so great.
I agree. Like when you have people around you who are there to support you or who are also doing, like suppose take example of any of your group coaching, right? When you have 4 or 5 people in there at the same time, you're not just teaching them, they're teaching each other. Okay, if he can grow, so can I. They're giving each other confidence. Those notes are happening. Those transformations are happening within subconsciously that we don't even talk about.
Can I bring one thing up just now that you brought that up, that in September, I am putting together a year coaching program for women between the ages of 40 and 65 dealing with perimenopause, menopause, and it's going to include individual coaching as well as group coaching for that exact reason, Rohit, that I want to bring women together and probably professional women, but it's open to everybody that just have the same issues, because I've seen it before. It is amazing when you get a group of anybody to get, like women, men, whatever, but they help each other. Definitely different ideas.
Agree. And that's why I'll say, you can just click this link that I'm mentioning here. So you can get to learn a lot more about Marisa McKenzie and our coaching services and the September program that's coming up. So, Marisa, what's the one piece of advice you would give someone who feels like, Marisa, it's too late for me to change? What would be your advice to them? Because a lot of people at a certain age, they feel, well, I couldn't do it at 25. How can I do it at 55? You see?
It is never too late. And I can give you one real life example. And this is I work with a woman who is 91 now. And during COVID, I couldn't see her very often. Now I'm her fitness trainer. So I've been training her in fitness since she was 61. If you can believe this, she had never exercised before 61. And her goal at that point was, she said, I want to be able to fish forever. And I wanted to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids for as long. Now her grandkids are all in their 20s and 30s, but at the time. And so during COVID, I didn't see her for a few months. And she didn't do her fitness by herself. So when we got back to training again together, she had gone downhill. And I was really concerned about it because at the time she was 86, right? And I'm like, how is this going to work? But at 91, I can say now, when I work with her for an hour, she can go up and down flights of stairs 9 times in that hour. Plus, do all the other strength training things I have her do. We do a lot of very functional exercises because I want her to be able to, her and her husband live on their own together. He still goes out and hunts and fishes, and they're a very active couple. And she's totally self-sufficient and doing great. So at 91, if it's not too late for her, it's not too late for any of you guys.
100%. I agree. So, sharing with all that, I'll say we want to move to a quick fire last segment of the show, which is a rapid fire. So I'll ask you a few questions, then you reply. You know the rules of it, right? So I'll start with Marisa, coffee or green tea?
Ooh, coffee.
We have the option to say nothing as well. Okay, coffee. Okay, great. The one food you think is overrated for health?
Oh, kale. Kale, definitely.
Morning workout or evening workout?
Morning workout, because then it's done and nothing else gets in the way. Later on, so many different things can get in the way, or you're just too tired and you just don't do it.
Your guilty pleasure food?
Cheesecake.
One habit you wish everyone would start today?
Walking daily.
The biggest myth in the wellness industry?
Oh, gosh, there's so many of them. I think just don't do quick fixes. Like, it might take longer to get to your goal, getting new lifestyle habits, but daily habits, healthy habits will get you way further. And I think for so many people, well, they make us look better too. The quick fixes, they'll last for so long, but if you do consistent healthy habits daily, it shows up. It reflects on your outside, like your skin. I think when you see a healthy person, they look attractive, right? And if you're just doing quick fixes once a year, it's a whole different look. So, and you feel.
Agree. If you could do one form of exercise forever, what would that be?
Strength training.
Strength training. One word to describe your coaching style.
I think one word. Ooh. Empathetic.
Okay. Well, that's it, Marisa. Thanks for being on the show and thanks for sharing all the insights. Can you just mention to the people who are watching it how they can connect with you?
Thank you for having me, Rohit. You can look on my website, www.marisamckenzie.healthcoach.com, or on LinkedIn, I'm Marisa McKenzie Health Coach. On Instagram, the same thing, Marisa McKenzie Health Coach, and on Facebook, Marisa McKenzie. And reach out. I would love to connect with you.
Yeah. And Marisa, it was a pleasure having you. The biggest takeaway for my own self is because even if you're the host, you got to learn, right? So there's no stopping learning. So I learned a lot more about understanding that no matter what age, no matter where you are, you can start and just start walking first. Just start walking. And even if you're so busy, there's nothing more important than your health. Because if you're busy today and not working on your health, you'll feel, why didn't you work it? You'll regret it. And that's what I can see happen to a lot of people every day. So we want to set the tone for an amazing future for everyone who's watching it and who's listening to it right now. So thanks a lot for being on the show. I really appreciate what you shared with us, and I really want people to learn this one thing, that's body and wellness. If they do, they will change their lives. So yeah, and thanks everyone for joining into the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show today. I would appreciate if you like it, do share with someone, do share with a loved one who might need to hear it, who might want to connect with us, who might want to have a word, who have a confusion, or who doesn't talk because they feel, what would other people think? We won't think that way. If you want to connect with Marisa, do today. And I'll see you in the next episode. So thanks everyone for being on the show.
Success isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to show up, take action, and never back down. This is the Empower Entrepreneur, hosted by Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, and 100 plus podcast stations. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the mindset. Now it's time to execute. I'll see you next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Go, build, dominate. Until next time, stay empowered.